Well, hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Dodgee Gamer here, and finally, it's arrived. It's the Football Manager 2021 Beta. I've literally just downloaded it and installed it after waiting for a Windows update, which came at a great time, thanks. But anyway, here we are. I've just done my manager. You can see my sprightly young manager just up there, and we're just going to today take a first look. This isn't the beginning of a series, this isn't the beginning of a new save, this is just me loading up the game. We're just going to load up a few leagues, take over a random club, and there's a few things we want to look at. First of all, we want to look at the game setup options, the speed of setting up the game, see if that's noticeably different from Football Manager 2020. Then we're going to go through some of those features that were highlighted to us. We're going to look at the initial board meeting, press interactions, and interactions with agents, if we can get involved in transfers. Speaking of which, the recruitment centre, we want to take a look at that as well. We want to go through the whole Matchday experience, and of course, hopefully get a match in, and I want to throw a bottle at someone. Alright, so we've got the usual quick start options. Let's just go into the advanced setup. Alright, so the standard nations it gives us to start off with. England from League 2 and upwards, the French division, the Dutch leagues, the Spanish, and the Welsh leagues. Interesting. And just looking at the choose nations, yeah, it was confirmed by Miles on Twitter, I remember, but Canada is now there in the base game. We no longer have to download that additional file for it. It was an official SI one, but again, an add-on. Gibraltar, still not here, though. I guess we're going to get the download file for that sometime after the full release. So I'm just going to load up a few leagues. England, Germany, Italy, Spain. Let's make it a large database, so that's going to give me 4 stars. My laptop's a few years old. It's i7 processor. It's got a decent amount of RAM and so on. It is a bit creaky and old, though. And just to speed things up, I'm going to go in late in the pre-season, so we can kind of get into those first games a bit more quickly. All right, well, that took about a minute and a half to get through to this stage, so I've already set this up. We'll just go ahead and use this profile. I've made myself a bit younger than I really am, just so I don't get called a wily old manager straight away. Okay, it's put me in for Man United, I guess, because I put them in as my favourite team. Well, it's realistic, I suppose. So we'll just go with the setup options. What have we got here? Anything new? I mean, we'll go with Motivator for now. So here we go, into the boardroom. Confirmed as a new manager. Eyebrows have been raised, as they usually are. This is the only time, by the way, if you're new to the channel, this is the only time you'll see me take over a big club like this. I like the reputation of a title specialist, just like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Alright, let's go on and have a look. Usually I will play with smaller and more obscure clubs. You can check out my video about obscure clubs to manage in Football Manager 2021, link in the description. So here's my overview of the squad. Cavani, of course, up front. And we've got Fernandes. Pogba, not a big fan of him myself, but, that's I like the recommended lineup, 4-2-3-1. That's what I like to play. And the club vision, this was a good addition last year, so nice to see it. Still here, still prominent, play attacking football, use the club's youth system, all the things that, young players, high reputation players, all the things that Manchester United are known for. Okay, so this is new. We get to choose when we want to have all of the various guides and overviews of the club sent to us. So I suppose the good thing here is it means you don't get stuck on day one. You see here we've got scouting scheduled for 2 days' time, transfers 3 days' time, training induction tomorrow. So I guess we're staggering it out a bit so you don't just get bombarded with a full inbox straight away. Okay, we're definitely going to schedule the press conference. We want to see what Meet the Media's like. We will skip the intra-squad friendly, just so we can get into a proper game. We'll get the advice report. Well, just did the save game. That seemed very quick, but of course, I'm comparing this to my Football Manager 2020 save, where I was like 11 seasons into the future. So a lot of these screens so far, the basic content is very similar to what we've seen before. I do notice that everything seems a bit bigger. Everything seems a bit larger, the text, everything, a bit of more efficient use of space, we could say. Right, so just going through, a lot of those items are the similar things we've seen before. Code of conduct, slightly different here. I think before code of conduct. If I remember rightly, last year it was all about suspensions. And now we see here they're specifying in a few more detail. Missed training. We've got going AWOL. Multiple bookings, sent off for second booking, sent off for straight red. So it's covering a lot more. Maybe we should have something about, going on a Twitter rant. That would make it a little bit more realistic. But okay, first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and more. So we've got all that set up. Okay, so here's our team report. This is fairly comprehensive, and I see it's as they were saying on Twitter, it's kind of all within the message. You don't then have to get the full detail by clicking and going to another screen. All right, so I'm having a look at dynamics. I've been told now would be a good time to have a team meeting, so we'll go along with that. So we start off positive. There's no opportunity I want to throw a water bottle at Paul Pogba straight away, but we've only got one option. Introduce myself. Let's see. Harry Maguire, encouraged, wants to keep himself out of trouble. He would like to welcome me. So what have we got here? We can make some promises. Planning to improve the goalkeeping situation. I'm sure De Gea would love that. So various promises. We can say we're going to bring in youth players. We're going to be improving various areas of the team. No one's going to stand in your way if you want to leave. So we're not going to make any of those promises yet, of course. And I don't want to make any promises for now. That's what we'll go with. We don't want to risk anything at this point. That's made Matic, Mata, Cavani, Romero, James, and Tuanzebe downcast for some reason. I'm going to say I'm positive about our chances, and I think we can qualify for the Champions Cup, Champions League. That's much better, got a much better reaction. Here we go, we've got the gestures. Point the finger, wave the hand, raise the hands, pump the fists, outstretched arms. I'm going to pump the fists. I think that's going with passionate, right? That's exactly the sort of reaction I was after. Harry Maguire, he's really on our side. Kind of ambition we want from the manager. What else? And then we get to talk about the Champions League as well. We could go with no gesture, of course. So we'll go with that. Latter stages. Harry Maguire thinks we can do that. That's exactly the sort of reaction I was after. It even goes on to the cup. So, latter stages of the cup, sensible target, sort of reaction I was after. Code of conduct, we get that in. Everyone's encouraged or content. So great response from everyone. Nice first team meeting. And then we get some feedback on it. So the players were fine with the lack of promises. The players are also largely happy with their expectations. So good to get that feedback. Give the assistant manager a bit more kind of direct input. Right, we're not going to look too much at training. That'll be a whole other video, I think. Pre-season preparation. We've got a training camp coming up. And our pre-season schedule. Let's make it heavy. Put the players through their paces. Okay, here we go. One of the big things that was touted right from that first announcement video last month. Meeting the media. Going through the whole press conferences. Let's see how different this actually is. This is similar to before. Likely talking points. Then I'm told 11 journalists attracting global media attention, and then we've got our notable journalists in attendance. So we've got a press officer, new staff role here, who says, let's kick this off. So off you go then, start the press conference. So what's the question? What are your initial thoughts on taking the Man United job? I'm going to smile warmly. It's an honour, but with great power comes great responsibility. Then we've got Ajax Yark from The Athletic. As a big fan of the club, surely this must be a dream come true. So the whole body language isn't here all the time now. We go positive, convinced, neutral. I can't stop smiling. It's a wonderful feeling. Okay, Tom Humphrey's asking about the facilities. Fantastic. Are you excited about the opportunity to work in such an environment? I will not do a gesture here. And I will say... good old-fashioned hard work is just as important. Your playing career was a huge success, at this sort of level. But management is a new challenge for you. Do you think your experience will aid the transition at all? Let's do an open arms gesture, and we'll say, I believe it will. I've been preparing for a number of years. They're getting into the nitty-gritty. Will you be looking to change the squad? Very much. I'm going to shake my head. And if we can bring some quality in, we will do. Have you met the players? We have. What's the mood in the camp? I'm going to smile warmly. and say there's a real hunger from everyone to show what they can do. Would you like to say anything to the Man United fans? Shake my head. We'll go outstretched arms and we'll say fans are vital to us. How far can you take the club? Well, I'm going to say we've got to aim high. Why else would we be in the business? Approaches to training. Yeah, nobody ever achieved anything without hard work, of course. Will you be looking towards the likes of Anthony Martial, as the focal point of this team now? Yeah, he knows what I want to see from him. Will Harry Maguire remain your captain? He's our captain. Do you feel the squad could do with strengthening in any particular areas? Well, I think, let's not talk about transfer policy right now. We've only just met the players. So it's widely expected Luke Shaw will leave the club. Can you hold on to him? Well, let's keep him. All right, managers are famous for their hand-on approach. Others have a more reserved manner. Players can come to me with everything. Will you be concentrating on getting good results in the Premier Division? League is the priority. All right, and we'll continue to the summary. So a bit like that team meeting, we're going to get a summary here. I think the press conference was just fine. Well, thank you, Keith Lee. Keith Lee, the unlimited one. So notable highlights. What are your thoughts on taking the Man United job? So there you go. Right, so come over to the scouting page. Just wanted to have a look at this now. Laid out slightly differently, but it does look pretty similar to before in that we've got these cards coming up with recommendations, and we've got the same options. Keep scouting. The new bit there, speak to the agent about their availability, get the analyst report and so on. Let's just try the agent availability, see what that looks like. So we've got his agent here, Carlos Andrada. He says, glad to hear you're interested in my player. We would need the following areas met. Provide competition for places and earn plenty of playing time over the course of the season. Wage of 46k a week. High fee may be required as Ajax may not be willing to sell. Will play player in a preferred position and role. So it's a little bit like once a bid had been accepted before starting the contract negotiations, we had these kind of things come in last year. Now, I guess it's a bit more realistic bringing it in before you even get into making the bid. The only option we've got to do is exit talks, so I guess it's just a matter of gauging interest, really. Okay, so this looks quite similar to before, and we're told about the work permit situation, so we'll suggest terms. Oh, they want much more than that, so the usual kind of negotiations come into play here, and they'd accepted that, so we'll finalise the offer. Not a player that I was super interested in, but just to have a look. Right, so if we're requesting the suggestions, and let's say we want an attacking midfielder, and we'll see what suggestions we get. Isco, Raul Garcia, and Oyarzabal. And yet we can I think this is a bit better. I think the layout here means it's going to be easier to kind of take charge of scouting yourself and make those assignments rather than kind of having to click through several screens to take the responsibility off your chief scout. And we've got something here for analyst priorities as well, although there are no options here at the moment. Okay, and here we've got the development centre, so a bit of a different layout to last year. I like the fact that immediately in the middle, first team candidates are put there right in front of you. And I also like the fact that we've got a Dodgson here at Manchester United still. Right, so we're on to Matchday. Obviously just a friendly here, but I've just set up a basic 4-2-3-1 tactic. We'll see how it goes. I haven't worried too much, and obviously haven't had a chance to test it at all. This is new that, this will be good, I think. When you make little tweaks, you've got the option here to make them applicable to all matches or the next match only, because, that was a bit of a pain sometimes last year. I had my 4-2-3-1, I had a kind of attacking version and a slightly more conservative version, and I just had to save like a V1 and V2 and keep switching between them. It felt like a waste to have those in two tactical slots all the time, but good to think that we can make some adjustments here based on specific things about the opposition, or maybe a player's injured and we're bringing someone else in, and then say it's for the next match only. Okay, so I didn't get any option to do a pre-match tactical briefing. I don't know, maybe that's something I needed to set up in the training schedule, but we do have here some feedback ahead of the match. What are the players happy about? What are they concerned about? So we see 9 players pleased that we've got this high press in there. Martial's pleased that we've got the instruction move into channels. Cavani's worried about passing to space because it doesn't suit his game. Pogba is happy about passing to space. Okay. I guess this will build up, of course, as we kind of get further into the season. But let's get into the match. All right, definitely a different look here to the presentation. Very much in presenting here the team lineups, but that all looks good. We've got here the press officer. I don't know how realistic this is if the press officer would hand over a phone to the manager before the game and say, oh, look at the social media reaction. And then staff reaction to team news, and they're suggesting, okay, some opposition instructions here. Okay, let's say do it. I'll trust you, Mike. Okay, so here's where the body language gets interesting. I've got the chance to flash my arms, or hands together. Let us pray. Hands in pockets, all right. Pumps fist, hands on hips, outstretched arms. Then my assistant recommends show me what you've got. Sorry, I didn't realise that I was in the tutorial mode. I was clicking on stuff like, why is it not working? Why is the game frozen? But okay, I had to click through the tutorial. So then put hands on hips. Go out there and show me what you've got. I can speak directly to players. Yeah, we could do this before. So individuals, attackers, so we don't have the kind of drop-down list of players anymore. I'll keep it casual. Hands in pockets. Show me why you deserve a place in this team. We've motivated Scott McTominay. So individuals, okay, we can select and deselect people from here. I think it will take me a little bit getting used to where the players are positioned. Some of them down the side, some of them at the top, substitutes down the other side, but I'm sure we'll get used to that. Want some quality finishing from the strikers. Right, let's get to kick-off. Okay, we were promised this more TV-like presentation. Certainly looks a bit more colourful so far. Alright, so just been through the kind of overview of the screen. It does look different. Graphically, looks quite different, a lot more detailed. And obviously the layout, the fact that we've got this kind of information bar across the bottom. Going to have to get used to the fact that these shouts and instructions are down here now instead of up on the top. But it kind of, we got an initial reaction, favourable. I think it puts more focus on the match. Right, we're just going to go for key highlights, quick game. Let's have a look. We've got the commentary bar across the bottom. I think that's a bit more prominent, a bit more visible. That's good. Rashford off on a run. A bit of a harsh tackle there. We should have had a card there, ref. Come on. Be interesting to see what the Skinners make of this, I think, because obviously it's quite a radical departure from previous years in terms of the layout, that's for sure. So I wonder, once those wonderful Skinners start to work their magic, what kind of alternative takes on this they're going to come up with. But anyway, looks like an Ajax attack, but it's nicely slowed down. Can we build something here? Lots of patient passing at the back. Rashford cuts inside. Good, that's his role. Inside forward, he's gone very central. Through to Martial. That's a goal. That is a very good goal. I like the way that worked. I like the way that worked. There was perhaps a hint of offside there. Let's have a look. But Rashford made a fantastic run. There you go. Martial timed it to perfection. That's a goal. Okay, they want us to go for shorter passing. All right, let's do it. Those things are definitely a little bit more kind of prominent before. It just kind of pop up in that top corner and then fade away. And, you know, if you were into the game, you probably wouldn't pay attention to it. Maybe at the moment, just because it's new, it's catching my eye more. As Rashford goes for goal number 2. It's the side netting. So, okay, the old kind of reactions to the feedback are not immediately so obvious. We've got the smileys there. I got a kind of neutral reaction to that. Let's have a look. XG, of course. XG, one of the big new features. So, XG match story. We've got our goal. We're putting in good performance according to XG. It's greater than our opponents. Well, good. Ah, there it is. The throw water bottle. But I've got no one to throw it at. Ah, interesting that when I pick Pump Fists, the assistant recommends this one. The other ones seem to be greyed out, so obviously you can't have You can't have a body gesture that doesn't match what you're saying. Right, we're going to do it. Pogba, worst performer on the pitch at 6.6. We're going to throw the water bottle at him. You're lazy. Oh, you've demotivated him. Never mind. How's Pogba doing? He's not too happy after getting that water bottle thrown at him for some reason. We've come up to the hour mark. We're going to have to think about tactics and subs as Martial runs through, and he's scored a doozy of a goal there. Completely fooled the keeper, just chipped it over him. Cheeky little chappy. Alright, I had to pause the match there. I could see the camera still moving around on the outside, but let's see. We're going to bring on Cavani. Let's have Cavani make his debut. He can play as an advanced forward, and we'll bring on Van de Beek as well for Fernandes. And let's have Fred on for Pogba. Good, we get the option to give Teamtalk. I remember last year you only got that option if you went to the tactics screen, but not the quick sub screen. So it's good that we've got that now. And show me why you deserve a place in the team. Confirm. And back to the match. Nicely done. Alright, Ajax here looking to pull one back. Nice defending though, and it's Rashford now going to run at them. Chance to play in Cavani maybe. He does so. Oh, you beautiful man, Cavani. Scores with his first touch of the ball. Fantastic stuff. Okay, you see here the heart symbols. Rashford is tired out, but we'll leave him on. Let's see if I get asked about that after the match. If, assuming there is some post-match media for a pre-season friendly, of course. Oof, that's the closest Ajax have come to scoring all evening. Okay, one last chance for a goal, perhaps. We're into the final couple of minutes here. Can we make it 4? All the way back to the keeper from that advanced throw-in position, but all right. We still build. Quick transition out to Rashford. Rashford, despite his tiredness, is still full of running. Cavani scores his second of the night. Oh, it just didn't show it to us for long enough, but just as that team sheet came up, you saw my manager pump his fists into the air. Fantastic performance according to XG. Great. I'll find out more about that later. Best performer, Cavani. Then we get into the analytical data. So, yeah, we've got the heat maps. We've got XG here. We've got the action zone. So it's all laid out nicely for us. And yeah, you can get straight into all of this post-match data analysis. I won't go into it too much now, but it's good to have that all in one place. Okay, outstretched arms. Fantastic performance. And that's our match experience done. Alright, that bid we made for Lisandro Martinez, that's all gone through. Contract negotiations, this is similar. Squad player. We'll play him as a ball-playing defender. Yeah, and this is all standard stuff, contract length, wage, signing on fee, and various bonuses. And there you go, we've negotiated a contract, we'll finalise it. Just to get one done, really. Well, I was hoping for a post-match press conference to ask me if the rumours are true that I lobbed a water bottle at Pogba. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that first look. I certainly did. Visually, I haven't talked about that much, but it seems to be slightly darker colour, which is good. In general, I like the layout. It seems they've got a lot more on the screen, but they're giving it a fresh look. I definitely enjoyed the look of the graphical aspect of the match engine. And I think, you know, the layout of that match screen was impressive as well. Yeah, press conference definitely felt different. New questions, that was for sure. We'll see how long it takes before they get a bit stale and repetitive, though. Didn't really see something vastly different there in terms of the recruitment meeting, but maybe I just haven't quite got onto that stage of the game yet. But yeah, it's Football Manager, not quite as we know it, just maybe, perhaps, a bit better than we knew it before. I've certainly enjoyed this first look. Please let me know down in the comments what you thought about this first look, and please check back on the channel for the beta save, which will be starting probably by Friday. I'll have the first episode out. I may try to get a little intro done by tomorrow, but for now, thank you very much for watching. Please hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm Dodgee Gamer. I'll see you again soon.